So I've started this new position. My boss has been riding me all week. My commute is ridiculous. I don't know how you do these early mornings.
I'm just used to it.
Collin, are we still on for tomorrow night?
Sorry, Toba. It's been kind of a rough week at work.
Another night then?
Yeah. I'll see you soon.
But this was a really interesting piece, especially coming from a small town myself. I understand how unwelcoming they can be to members of the LGBTQ community. And this one was heart-wrenching. We had the beautiful roller coaster and the butterflies, the anticipation of a new connection, of a new possibility for life, a nomad, an artist, someone that he's never met before. And then I think it's really interesting that he wants to choose an antique store to open, relics of the past, something to cling on to a history, to a meaning. And really he decides to go forth with a life that is almost a relic of the past as well. It's something that doesn't speak to his time period or where he's at in his life. And he upholds the institution of marriage where maybe it shouldn't have been. And instead he could have moved forward to create a new future. So it was difficult that we didn't get our happy ending, but I think that made it hit so much stronger. And that was a brave choice in the storytelling. Really well acted, great chemistry between the two, and a great level of honesty.
I liked the characterization of the leads. I thought they were really well cast. The examination of small town life with Collin's character, it's difficult to always live out your true desires because you've got to be accountable to the same people every day. And so he holds back while Roman, he's in a different town all the time and he can live more honestly. And he is more honest by telling Collin right up front. He sees women, he sees men, he's in and out of towns quickly. So he leads this very carefree life. The strong scene for them was their goodbye in Collin's bedroom. You can see in their eyes, they're verbally saying they'll see each other again, but you know, and they know that they won't. And it's just so sad, but really well done.
These two individuals and watching them deal with their sexuality and how they approach it within their own relationship and with their relationship with others. These two characters, one being, more closed off. He stays in one spot, so he has to be, more secretive about his sexual orientation. Meanwhile, the other is able to go freely around and express himself more without the fear of, constantly being stuck in one spot and dealing with the social repercussions of this. I think it's a really realistic showing of what it can be like and what it was like for a lot of people in the LGBTQ community. I think all the settings were used appropriately and added a lot to the piece. I think there was, the pacing was really good throughout the piece leading up to that final goodbye and the heartbreak of that. And I think the characterization of both these actors and the way they portrayed it was really lovely to watch.
The performances of the whole cast are really good, especially the lead. His performance is awesome, so subtle. Such a tragic story as he ends up hiding the fact that he is gay. The settings of his apartment, the garage, and the bar are all well done, as is the wardrobe and the makeup.
A stranger walks into a bar. A meet cute, or not so cute in this case, occurs. A love affair heats up, but he's only in town for the night. This experience leaves the small town boy devastated, hoping, yearning for his return, making promises that if he'll come back, that he'll meet him at the very bar that they've met. Just as his business venture, Antiques, has become a failure, he realizes so has his love experience. He settles, and not only does he settle, he marries the female bartender. She boasts over their love story, talking about how he used to come every night, and it's this bittersweet moment that occurs because you eventually see him outside of the window smoking and miserable. 30 years have passed by, and the song of this inspirational moment together plays on the radio. Some love fail. Sometimes we settle. You ultimately have a choice. This man spent one evening with this man, and he went on to become this music legend and to have his music play on the radio 30 years later. Meanwhile, this guy, he never moved on from this moment. It's kind of sad when you think about it.
Though he discovers his sexuality when he meets this musician at a local bar. He hasn't been true to himself fully. And it isn't really until he discovers his truth about himself, until this musician is able to kind of bring him out of his shell. He realizes he's an attraction to him. He starts to accept he's an attraction to men. And he goes for it. He asks him to come over and they share the night together. And what I thought was very interesting was the subtext of the goodbye after that evening, because it's obvious that this musician is saying goodbye after they spend this night together, even though he promises, I'll meet you at this bar again. But it's something in his eyes and in the performance and the thoughts behind what he's actually saying, which is, yeah, we'll see each other again. When in truth, I got the sense that he's saying, this is never going to happen again. And you have this musician who's outward with his sexuality, who's open about the fact that he dates who he wants, he's fluid, and you have this other guy who's very repressed. And this, I'm getting the sense this could be his first experience ever, and who had to kind of get himself hyped up on alcohol. He's not even a drinker to even go through with it or find the courage to go through with it. And, you know, it almost doesn't seem like they really align, because it would be a lot of the burden on this musician to have to carry the burden of his repressed sexuality, which I think is why he agrees to do this one night, but doesn't plan on doing this ever again. And therefore he's trapped in this marriage of no meaning, because what he really he never got a chance to fully be himself. And I think that a lot of people feel like it's easier to follow the societal norms of love as opposed to actually going out and seeking the person that they would really want to be with.
The characters were definitely compelling, and I think the way that they were struggling was very clear throughout the film, and I think that just made their meeting and their feelings for each other all the more compelling, and definitely great